They underestimated her. Just a waitress. Just a woman. Just someone harmless. Sarah was used to this. For 15 years, customers had made her invisible. Bosses had considered her worthless. Society had dismissed her. But that night, Sarah Henderson would show that she never allowed anyone to dismiss her. And in doing so, she would reveal her true identity. Every story you're about to hear was earned, not given. Welcome to Earned Stories. Tell us in the comments which city you're watching from, and if you believe stories of invisible heroes like Sarah deserve to be told. Don't forget to subscribe. Miller's Diner sat on Route 66 in a small town that most people drove through without stopping. The neon sign was half broken, the red leather booths were worn thin, but the food was always hot and the coffee was always fresh. It was a typical American roadside restaurant. Truckers, local workers, and the occasional stranded tourist would stop by. Sarah Henderson had been working at Miller's for 15 years. 38 years old, medium height, brown hair always pulled back in a neat ponytail. Same pink uniform every day. Same comfortable white sneakers. Same tired but genuine smile. She'd arrive at 6 a.m. for the morning shift and work until 11 p.m. when they closed. The customers liked Sarah well enough, but did they really see her? To most of them, she was just the person who poured coffee, took orders, and brought the check. Her name was just Sarah. Nothing more, nothing less. She never complained, never talked back, always smiled. Her boss, Frank Miller, described Sarah as reliable. In 15 years, she'd never been late, never called in sick, never had problems with customers. The ideal employee. But Frank never questioned Sarah's background, and he kept her wages at minimum level. Sarah's just a waitress, Frank would tell his friends. Not too bright, but she gets the job done. What else can women like that do anyway? When Sarah overheard comments like this, she never responded. She'd just smile and continue working. The customers thought similarly, especially the men. They saw Sarah as an order-taking machine. "Hey, waitress girl," they'd say. "What was her name again?" "Doesn't matter. Just bring my coffee." Some customers were disrespectful. They'd leave tiny tips, speak rudely, and sometimes make inappropriate suggestions. Sarah responded to all of them with the same calm composure, never showing her irritation. But nobody noticed certain details about Sarah. Why she always preferred corner table number 7. From there, she could see all the exits in the restaurant. Why she always kept her right hand free when greeting customers. Why she did security checks every night after closing. Nobody had seen that small room in Sarah's apartment either. Military medals hanging on the wall, framed certificates, old uniforms. None of them bore the name Sarah Henderson. They all carried a different name, Sarah Ghost Rodriguez. 15 years ago, she had retired from the Navy SEALs. 3 tours in Yemen, 2 tours in Afghanistan, countless covert operations. Her teammates called her Ghost. She could approach targets silently, complete the mission, and leave without a trace. In retirement, she had wanted a different life. She changed her identity, settled in the small town, an ordinary, quiet, invisible life. She didn't want anyone looking for Sarah Rodriguez. But that Thursday night, the past found her. It was 10:30 p.m. The restaurant was getting ready to close. The last customers had left. Sarah was washing dishes. Frank was counting the register, doing the night's accounting. The door opened. 3 men entered, faces masked, guns in their hands. The first was tall, seemed to be the leader. The second was heavy-set, nervous. The third was young, inexperienced. "Nobody move," the leader shouted. "This is a robbery. We want the money in the register." Frank raised his hands, trembling as he started to open the register. Okay, no problem. Whatever you want." Sarah stood in the kitchen, dish rag in her hand. She didn't move, but her eyes were scanning the environment. 3 men, different positions, escape routes, weapon types, automatic analysis. "You, waitress girl," the leader yelled at Sarah. "Get over here. Sit on the floor." Sarah approached slowly. "Okay, stay calm. You don't want to hurt anyone, right?" "Shut up and sit down," the heavy-set one growled. Sarah sat on the floor, but her position wasn't accidental. Next to the corner table, perfect angle to see all the men, excellent range of movement. The leader was counting money from the register. "That's it? $400? Frank stammered his response. It was a slow day. Most customers paid by card. "Is there hidden money?" the heavy-set man asked. "No, I swear. That's all there is." The young man was getting agitated. "That's it? This is ridiculous. There should be more." The leader was also getting angry. "Check the back room. There might be a safe." Sarah's muscles were tensing, measuring positions. Distance between the 3 men, reaction times, threat levels. She was drawing a tactical map in her mind. As the young man went to the back room, he shouted, "There's a safe here." "There we go," said the leader. "Open it." Frank's hands were shaking. "The combination is complicated. I can't remember." "Remember it." The leader pressed his gun to Frank's head. That's when Sarah moved. She started with the heavy-set man closest to her. She sprang from her sitting position and grabbed the man's wrist, causing his gun to drop. With her other hand, she applied pressure to his neck. Within 2 seconds, the man collapsed to the floor. The leader tried to turn, but Sarah was too fast. She leaped over the table and twisted the arm holding his weapon. The gun fired into the ceiling as the leader screamed in pain. The young man came running from the back room, but Sarah was ready. With a perfect kick, she slammed him against the wall. His weapon flew from his hands. Within 3 minutes, all 3 men were on the ground. Sarah stood over them, not even breathing hard. Frank stared in shock. "Sarah, how did you?" Sarah's voice had returned to its calm tone. "Call 911, Frank. Get the police. But how did you know how to do that? You're just a waitress?" Sarah smiled. "Yes, Frank, I am a waitress, but I'm also a retired Navy SEAL. Sarah Rodriguez, call sign Ghost. 8 years active duty, 47 successful operations." Frank's jaw dropped. You're a Navy SEAL? Retired for 15 years. I wanted a quiet life, but as you can see, sometimes the past comes back. When the police arrived, Sarah was back in her normal waitress uniform. She explained the situation to them, but didn't go into detail. She simply said, "Self-defense." But the town sheriff was a former Marine. He noticed Sarah's movements, her posture, her composure. He saw that familiar look in her eyes. "Were you military?" he asked. Sarah just smiled. "We've all served in some way, Sheriff." The incident spread quickly through town. The waitress at Miller's took down 3 armed robbers single-handedly, but nobody knew the full story. When Sarah came to work the next day, everything had changed. Customers looked at her differently. She was no longer just the waitress girl. She was now the woman who took down the robbers. Frank was filled with shame. "Sarah, my thoughts about you. I was so wrong." "It's okay, Frank. People judge, but sometimes they're mistaken." Customers now knew Sarah's name. "Hello, Sarah," they would say. "How are you, Sarah?" She was no longer invisible. Tips increased. Respect increased, but most importantly, Sarah was now seen. Little Emma, 8 years old, often came with her family. She approached Sarah. "Miss Sarah, are you a real superhero?" Sarah knelt down to her level. "No, sweetheart, I'm just a waitress with a lot of experience. Superheroes are in movies. I'm real, but you beat up the bad guys." "Yes, but that doesn't make me a superhero. It just makes me someone who stands up when necessary." Emma thought about this. "Then when I grow up, I want to be like you, both a waitress and strong." Sarah smiled. "You can be anything you want to be, Emma. Just don't underestimate yourself, and don't let others underestimate you either." Sarah Henderson's story changed in one night, but it had actually been writing itself for 15 years. Every morning going to work, every smile to customers, every patient response to disrespect. This was also a form of service, different but necessary. At Miller's Diner, Sarah's photo now hangs on the wall. "Our hero Sarah" is written underneath. But for Sarah, this isn't what matters most. Sarah's story spread beyond Millfield, picked up by local news and eventually shared across social media. But the message that resonated wasn't just about her military background. It was about recognizing the dignity and worth of everyone who serves others, regardless of how glamorous their job might seem. They might all have done something heroic once, but do we see them? Do you know people like Sarah? Those who are underestimated but are actually strong? Show them respect, see them, listen to their stories. Because heroes don't always wear uniforms or carry weapons. Sometimes they wear aprons and carry coffee pots. Sometimes they've saved lives on foreign battlefields, and now they're saving your morning by making sure your coffee is hot and your eggs are cooked just right. If this story touched you, please share it. Let's not forget invisible heroes like Sarah. And remember, sometimes the strongest protection comes from those who seem most ordinary. In our next video, we'll meet another earned story. Because heroes don't just exist in movies, they live among us, in everyday life, serving coffee and changing the world, one person at a time. The next time you see a waitress, a janitor, a security guard, or anyone in a service job, remember Sarah's story. Look them in the eye, use their name if you know it, and treat them with the respect they've earned, simply by showing up and doing their job with dignity. Because you never know, the person serving your coffee might just be someone who once served their country and is now serving you with the same dedication they once brought to defending freedom. Every person has a story. Every story matters. And every story, like Sarah's, was earned, not given.